How do I learn to invest my money? In this video, I'm going to talk about how I learned to invest my money and my number one strategies that I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to do. Now, notice I say encourage you because I'm not a financial planner, I'm an educator. So with really loud disclaimers, I am not telling you what to do. I'm just going to tell you what I did and what a whole bunch of my students did, thousands of them, to become millionaires using investing strategies. So get a pen and paper. So first of all, let's talk about where you can learn to invest and how do you learn to invest. Number two, I'm going to talk about what are the best places to invest right now because it's ever changing in this dynamic market. We're going to talk about number three, very few people talk about it, accreditation. And are you accredited and why that status is absolutely critical. In fact, the rest of this year, I think your goal should not be six figures. It needs to be $200,000 and I'm going to tell you why. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you my number one investing strategy. It's always my go-to and it will always be my go-to for the rest of my life and a lot of my generational wealth. So get a pen and paper and let's begin. Number one, where do you invest and how do you even begin to look at investing? So first of all, most people live in I make money and I spend money. I make money, spend money. And their lie, and I hear it over and over and over on all these social channels, is until I'm out of debt, I can't invest. Well, there's nothing farther from the truth. While you're in debt, you better be investing. Right? Because what you're doing right now while you're in debt is spending your money wrong. You're spending on lifestyle stuff instead of getting a bigger goal and vision. Think about that little red car syndrome, right? If I asked you today, how many red cars did you see? You say, well, I wasn't looking for red cars. Same thing. How many investments are you looking for? What kind of investments are you looking for? This has to be top of mind. It has to be decided. Things aren't just going to come to you. There's so much going on. The world is so busy. It's so flooded with content. And then there's this amazing place called the internet. I call it the bathroom wall, where everybody's writing everything. Half of it's scams, half of it's inaccurate. So given the busyness of all this information that's out there, you have to say, what am I going to do? And here's my homework for you. And I want you to put it in the chat, and I would love to hear back from you. If you had 100,000, if you had $500,000, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? Draw a pie chart and say, what would you do? Would half of it be in real estate? Would it all be in the stock market? What portion would be in cryptocurrencies, NFTs? I own part of the membership of an NFL football team. I own part of a Broadway play. I got a lot, right? I've been sharking before sharks even gave us a name. My point is because I had that vision board, I had that investment board. I said, I want to own a very diverse alternative portfolio of fun businesses because I wanted to own direct. Because to me, early on in my finance days, where I was going to college to get a finance degree, I was taking stock trading classes and stock classes, and it's I don't even know these people. And if these people screw up the company, I have no ability to walk over there and help them fix the company. And I'm a pretty good fixer. So why wouldn't I just own the company where I actually have influence to fix? And I have influence to hire and fire the staff that's screwing the whole thing up. A couple years ago when we got this Ford dealership, it was exactly that. You had 5 big C-suite guys all making $250,000 and they wondered why they couldn't make it. Well, because you get one smart guy for $100,000 and you fire $1 million in salaries, not a hard fix. So I love the experiment of fixing the company. I love the tax benefits of owning directly into the company. So owning direct is always the best access. Would you rather buy a REIT, right? So a REIT is a real estate investment trust owned and managed by somebody else, right? You may never even meet them. You may never see the project. Or do you want to go out and own, the apartment house next door? Own your own house, own your own office. I love owning direct. The tax benefits are beneficial. And when I really learned tax benefits is when I worked for Chevron for a little minute in my life. Owning the wellhead directly gives you an 85% depreciation schedule against your highest income. There's no better tax plan in the world. I can own Chevron stock. I still have a little Chevron stock, but I own more wells. I own the capital working interest of a well. So again, I'm not giving you advice. I'm telling you to lean and get smart. No one teaches you alternative investing. No one teaches you private investing versus the stock market side of investing, which is why I went this direction my whole life. Now, my son's getting a finance degree and he's like, Mom, our portfolio is got all sorts of diversity. It's really busy to manage. I said, yeah, but we're managing it with they're our managers, which are becoming our friends. And they're like family. I mean, all of this stuff is highly controlled. Right? You can make it work, right? If you're completely on the outside, you can't. So how do you learn about investing? You get close to us. Those of us who are doing it the real way. Now, there are people, and I won't name their names, but they're pretty big, and you follow them and you go to 29,000 people in a big stadium in Florida, hint, hint, if you know who I'm talking about, that's sponsored by a REIT. That's like a big, big REIT. Don't tell me that those folks have been on the street next to the apartments, the paint, deciding the colors, deciding the structure, deciding the siding, or if they're going to use, timber ICF block. They don't even know those things. So I loved getting close to the asset so I can control it and control my profit. So the top places I invest are the alternatives, right? Do I have some money in the stock market? Yeah, and I use iFlip as a software that takes me in and out of the market very safely, and I use that. But before I tell you about accreditation and why accreditation will be critical to you moving into designing this vision board and having what you want and owning the assets that you want, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I'm out here for financial literacy for families. I'm here 5 days a week. So I want 10 to 15 minutes of your time every day. I want you to hit the subscription button, click the notifications. So every morning it's like, here's Loral again. And I want you to really listen and learn, come back to the comments and say, this is what I learned and this is what I'm going to do today. And then continue to work on that. Just continue to work on a plan throughout our journey together. Now, why accreditation is so important, and honestly, I'm going to say why accreditation isn't talked about anymore is mind-boggling to me, because according to the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, you have to be accredited, which means you either make $200,000 for 2 years, you're a couple and make $350 for 2 years, or you're a millionaire. It's self-reported. It's not like you're going to get some big fancy balloon celebration when you get this, but it allows you to invest in these alternative assets that I'm talking about. So for you that are out there and you have a job and you have an entrepreneurial venture, could you please put goal setting of $200,000 as a minimum on your chart for this year? Let's get there as fast as we can, because then you can do anything you want. You can buy anything you want, you can have anything you want, and you can own any investments. Now, my number one go-to is still real estate. In fact, we're working on an RV park, we're working on storage CCAN units, we are working on cash flow, continuing to sell and build. I love selling land, I love buying land, and will always be in the real estate space. My number one place. If I had to go number two, right now I'm just kind of falling in love with iFlip. It's really passive for me. You just park your money, put it into some amazing smart folios. I let Kelly and the team over there at iFlip do the work and make me some great returns. So compounding power of money is critical. So how do you learn to invest? You got to get the right team. So I need you to be on my team. We're going to start that by you taking my personality quiz. You're going to end up in one of 4 buckets. Now, if you aren't in the lazy assets or the bucket around investing, you need to get there. I want investing to be part of your conversation every day. You need to be looking around, like drive around town and say, wonder who owns that business? Wonder who owns that business? I wonder who owns that real estate. Somebody owns it. Why don't you own more? The reason is you haven't engaged. So I want you to engage, and I want you to come up with some goals and what you want. Take the quiz. You're going to come up in 1 to 4 categories. We're going to follow that up immediately with an application. You're going to fill out the application. It's going to come back to my team. You're going to have a one-on-one appointment, and we're going to talk about how we can help you and what your next step with us is. And I look forward to making you a millionaire in 3 to 5 years. See you tomorrow.